personality development, persona. These are aspects of psychology, and these are discussed in a subject called OB, or organizational behavior, in MBA courses. Now, personality, I think, needs to be differentiated from persona, because when people talk of personality development programs, maybe in a 3-day program or something like that, what they essentially mean is it's a persona development program, because persona is the exterior part, the packaging part, the outward part that you see of an individual, whereas personality is more like nature, the actual nature of the individual. So changing or developing persona is easier and possible in a few days, or you can polish an individual, you can give him some confidence by exposing him to situations that he's not comfortable with, making him better at interacting with people, presenting himself, speaking in public, by giving him more and more practice so he overcomes his fear. The dressing part, the grooming part, the presentation part. So that can be improved. That is, the persona can be polished, grooming, dress code, speaking with confidence, that which will happen with practice, of course, and more practice would be necessary. But changing the basic nature or personality is much more difficult. Can it be done? I don't know. Because how do we develop our personality? We don't deliberately do it, it happens on its own. A lot of it is genetics, inherited, heredity, DNA. So we say a child born with a blank slate. That's not true. The child comes with a program, genes and all that. That's what science and biology are telling us now. And a lot of it is already there when we are born. So that part is already inherited. We inherited a lot of stuff from our parents, not only the property part, but their personalities, proneness to disease, all those sorts of things, complexion, those kinds of things. So many tendencies, genetic factors, all that, genes, there is a lot of inheritance and heredity involved in it. So when we are born, we already come with that package. So we are not blank, we are not completely this thing. So you can't simply say, okay, nature versus nurture and nurture wins. I will take a child and I can make him into a saint or a Satan. That used to be the earlier belief. Now the belief tends to be that a lot of it is already there. The child brings a program. So a lot of it is heredity, how much we don't know. A lot of it is environment, upbringing, nurture part also plays a definite role, and sometimes situations and circumstances also play a role. So personality is already developed. It gets developed on its own, subconsciously, unconsciously. And if I want to change my basic nature, it might be very difficult. Maybe life changes it for me by if I pass through or have major life experiences or life changing or major events, then maybe my nature changes a bit. So that is not something that I really control most of the time. So changing personality or developing personality is not necessarily in my hands completely. It's a lot about what happens to me, and a lot of it is already there. So changing nature is difficult. So changing personality or developing personality is difficult, very difficult, next to or close to impossible. I wouldn't say impossible. A lot of it is genetics, a lot of it is environment, and situations, major situations can change, make us undergo a change in personality, but the maths is not completely clear, so we don't know. Persona development and persona improvement and persona polishing, the external packaging, the form is possible through practice, through skills, through training and all that. So one has to be clear that basic nature is difficult to change. Like we say, a leopard cannot change its spots. It's as simple as that. Not saying impossible, but extremely difficult. So training programs can address the issue of persona development, not necessarily personality development, where personality is the actual nature, and persona is the external part that you see, that you consciously present to others, right? The way you make people perceive you, the way you want to impress people, your speaking, and you can consciously, deliberately work on it and improve it. Public speaking or communication skills and confidence, and that can improve with interaction practice and skills development. So sometimes if you believe that you can train a person, there is a limitation to training, as I said, because if you think that training will change a person, the basic personality of a person, then you would be disappointed. So there is a limitation to what training can achieve. Sometimes changing replacement is better than training. Changing my nature is more difficult than getting somebody else in my place. If you want you want me to do something, but I am unable to do it, you keep training me, I'm still unable to do it, then expecting that I'll be able to do it may not work. Maybe get somebody else to do it. So replacement is easier than change. That is also change, but changing one guy with another guy, substituting the person rather than hoping that the person himself becomes a different person. Transformation. It sounds a very glamorous term, but it's very difficult to do. Again, not saying it is impossible, but extremely difficult and not completely in our control. Life can do it, major life events can do that. So that's an important learning. Uh, so nature, nurture, that is environment, heredity, DNA, and situations shape who we are and how we develop over a period of time. It is a lot of stuff is subconscious, unconscious. A lot of it happens when we are very young, when we are children. A lot of personality development happens at that stage. Intelligence also is fixed. Changing your IQ is also quite difficult. That also gets fixed at an early age. Generally, that is what psychologists have been telling us. What are the important characteristics of traits? There are many personality traits. There is locus of control. People with internal locus of control believe that they are in control of their lives, whereas people with external locus of control believe that life happens to them. They are not in control of their life. Other things are in control. So internals think that they can change what happens to them, whereas externals believe that no, they can't really change. The bigger force is at play, and you are simply kind of helpless, more or less, and you can only react to those situations. So life controls you. You don't control your life. That's one of the characteristics of traits or attributes of personality. Change, can't change, don't know. Type A, type B kind of a nature. Type A people are generally more anxious, more energetic, more hurried, more nervous, more excited, more impatient, whereas type B are cool, more relaxed, laid back. Again, a basic personality, type A personality and type B personality. Can it be changed? I don't know. Then you have risk-taking ability. Some people are born risk takers. Some people are risk averse. Can you really make a risk averse person extremely risk-taking? Again, very difficult. Again, an open question. Then there are things like need for achievement, a desire to achieve more. That is also maybe a part of personality. There is authoritarianism, where you believe that there should be differences between people in an organization. There should be status and power differences. That must be there in an organization. There must be people with higher status and higher power and higher authority. So there is a belief that this thing should be there. And there is Machiavellianism, Chanakya kind of. Machiavelli was Italian Chanakya kind of. Niccolo Machiavelli, who wrote the book The Prince. Lot of diplomacy and kutniti and stuff like that, politicking and all. So Machiavellian people are more political, more pragmatic, more calculating, cold types, and they are more political, try to achieve things by whatever means necessary, the end justifies the means. That is the kind of belief that they have. So these are some of the essential personality traits. Extroverts, introverts, people, extroverted people who are can you make an introvert an extrovert, or an extrovert into an introvert? Very difficult again. So where you need an introvert, if you hire an extrovert and think you can train him, or where you need an extrovert, you hire somebody who is basically an introvert and think you can make him an extrovert, maybe you will achieve only part success. So basically it's better to hire an extrovert where you need an extrovert, rather than take an introvert and hope that by training and development you will be able to turn him into an extrovert. So these are the challenges that one must keep in mind. Thank you.